What's going on, everybody? This is going to be a video giving you guys some information on 4K gaming TVs and monitors, what you might need to know about 4K going forward. There's a lot of things you may know and may not know about 4K, so I figured I'd make this video to let you guys know some things and try to help you guys out. As you know, I recently built a 4K PC for 4K gaming primarily, and 4K content creation and things of that nature. So in that, I've been dibbling and dabbling in the 4K scene for about a year now and finding out quite a bit of information. So let's get straight into this video. Okay, let's start out with the basics, what you need to know off the rip about 4K and you know, the different things that happen in 4K. Okay, let's start with resolution. 4K resolution is actually 4096 by 2160. Now that is the native resolution of 4K. Even though that resolution is there, most things are in a slightly lower resolution, which they would consider HD, or should I say UHD, ultra high definition consumer format, and that would be 3840 by 2160. Now this is the definition that most things are in for commercial use. Of course, with 1080 we saw this with 1080p and 1080i. 1080p is the standard 1080 definition that people use now, where 1080i was the first form of 1080, which was actually 1080 and half, which was 540 twice on the screen, and it was adding up to 1080. So that's how we got that. Now, of course, with 4K, the same thing is happening. So let's just get straight into more details about this. First of all, okay, there's going to be a lot of people who would tell you that if you have a 4K TV, that it's not going to give you the same benefits as a monitor. Now, when it comes to 4K, what I realize is that's actually true and not true. Both of these have their up and downs. Now, a lot of people may think if you're a PC guy that a monitor is the best way to go for competitive gaming. Now, of course, for competitive gaming, this is true. If you're going to be a competitive gamer, then you may want to get a 4K monitor. But here's where this gets a little tricky. 4K, from what I'm noticing, is something that I guess you have to have peasant eyes, because if you really don't know what you're looking at and you got a good display and a good picture, you're kind of gonna have to look to see which one is the 1080 versus the 4K. Now on a monitor you will notice the difference, but because the monitor is not a good size, it's not that much of a noticeable difference. It's just more detail and color, so you do get an advantage as far as what you see. But if you looked at a 1080p monitor and you didn't look at a 4K monitor, you may not even notice that difference, because it depends on the picture and how good it's being presented, you know, to the display pretty much. So as far as 4K and monitors are so small, I don't feel like they get the full benefit of the 4K because of all that extra, you know, content that's being presented to you. It's for a bigger screen. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about the TVs now. Now here's where you really got to be careful, because if you have a 4K TV, then chances are you're missing some of the features that are very important for using it for PC gaming. And of course, if you have a console and you're just going to play console, then it doesn't really matter anyway, because consoles don't have the content that's pushing 4K for you to even notice the difference anyhow. So this is going to be primarily for PC gaming, what we're going to talk about here. Okay, so with 4K on PC, you know, with a monitor, you have to be careful, because apparently a lot of models of these TVs, if they came out before 2014, are not worth buying at all, because pretty much all of those monitors were using HDMI 1.4, which doesn't fully support 4K. However, it's capable of doing 4K. But here's where, you know, you get scammed. It's probably going to do 4K at 30 hertz. And of course, we all know you don't really want to do that unless you're going to be console gaming. And once again, console games don't even have 4K. So if you're going to PC game, then you really don't want to do that. So you want to stay away from any TV that was made before 2014. Now, in the 2014 models, you still have to be careful, because a lot of these models also have 1.4 HDMI connections, and they claim that they do 4K at 60 hertz. Now, in order for you to be safe, you kind of want to stay away from the 1.4 and just look for a 2.0. But then when you look for a 2.0, you have to check something called the chroma. Chroma is the color sampling of the monitor, or the TV I should say, and how it picks up colors. Most people would prefer what's called chroma 4.4.4, which is exactly pixel per pixel color sample. Now, a lot of these 4K TVs are going to display 4.2.2 or 4.2.0 at 40 hertz, pardon me, at 4K at 60 hertz. Now, for some reason, 90% of the TVs on the market right now cannot give you 4K with full color sample and chroma at 4.4.4. Now, the LG does have a model, which I believe is the UB8500 that does this, which is the one I was using. And there's a couple of other ones out there, but you have to really be careful and look at these things before you buy one. And I'm going to get to the meat of this commentary right now about 4K and just pretty much answer a question some of you may want to know have asked me. Is it really worth it to buy a 4K TV? Well, put it this way. If you want to put a 4K TV in your living room and you're going to go anything under 65 inches, you may not notice the difference as much unless you're sitting right up on the TV. If you have like anywhere between, like I say, like maybe a 42 to a 60, you may not really need to get the 4K because you won't really notice the difference if you're sitting in like a living room and you get a butter 1080p TV. You're gonna be looking like, I kind of see it. You're gonna always second guess whether or not it's 4K you're looking at, or was it worth it. You're just not gonna feel confident like, yeah, I could see the difference 100% unless you're sitting right up on the TV. Now, me personally, the fact that 5K TVs are popping up and 8K TVs are right around the corner, if you got the money, get it. But if you really are not sure, or you're gonna put a dent in the budget, nah, don't get a 4K TV just yet. Wait a little while. I say wait till like Black Friday and then buy one if you really want to get one, because right now the technology has so many scams like the chroma. And then you have another thing that you need to be worried about, which is called HDCP, which is a copyright protection protocol that was put into the HDMI point with all 2.0 HDMI ports. And if you don't have that typical 2.0 connection, any Blu-ray player made from 2014 and up will not work on your TV at all, and you'll actually have to return it. So this is like all the things you got to be careful. It's so much things you have to watch with a 4K TV. If I was you guys and you really didn't have the money like that, or you didn't really want to go crazy, just wait till next year. And any TVs that come out next year, you should be okay, because this is what everybody wants now. And that's what you need. Now, for the Chroma 4.4.4, what makes that so important to some people is the fact that when you use your TV as a monitor, a lot of people are claiming that if the Chroma is under 4.4.4, which is usually 4.2.2, which is like the next step under, they can't read text as well. Now, me personally, I can tell you from using a 4.2.2 and a 4.2.0, I don't use my screen that small. So if you zoom your screen into 200%, which is what you'll probably be doing anyway on a 4K TV if you game, because a lot of you guys are going to probably be like me and just be like, look, I can't look at that small crap. I'm not coming home from work and trying to figure out what that says. So you'll probably zoom in the screen, and when you zoom in the screen, you're going to notice the difference, and that's how you use that. So if you zoom in at 200, you may not notice the 4.4.4 problem. Like, once again, this is all preference, and these are things that if you're not knowledgeable about, you may not even notice these things. It could be really minor to some people, but it can be very noticeable to others. So it really depends on your taste. So that's why I say, to be safe, I do not think 4K is really not worth buying at this current moment, like TVs, monitors either. But in my personal opinion, if you wait till probably Black Friday or next year when the next batch of models roll out, they should be competing price-wise, and you should be able to get all the safety features that I mentioned, because I call the HDCP 2.2 a safety feature, the Chroma 4.4.4 a safety feature, and the HDMI 2.0 a safety feature, because if you don't have those three things in your TV and you have one of these things missing, you're already limiting your 4K experience. So you kind of want to make sure that the TV also does 4K at 60 hertz, which there's another warning I'm going to give you before I go. You have to be careful, because if the TV claims it's capable of doing this, that does not mean it will achieve it. So if it claims it can do 4K at 60 hertz, you have to make sure that it's not skipping frames, making it eventually essentially go back to 30 hertz, where it's just skipping frames to sample frames and make you think that it's processing 60 hertz when it's actually just really doing 30 frames per second. So you got to watch that. and you gotta watch this whole chroma thing depending on how you want to play. And also another thing you gotta watch with a lot of the 4K TVs is something called motion blur. That's another issue plaguing a lot of the older models. So I was you guys and you didn't want to go spend all this money on some big dope display. And another thing, do not look at the price tag as a reason to buy or not buy a TV, because a TV can be super expensive and have none of these features and still be coming out in 2015. So be very careful about your purchase and do your homework. If you guys have any questions about this or you want to know anything, I probably may know, or I know somebody that does, because I'm constantly reading up on this and researching, and I'm trying to find out more about the 8K, and I'm finding out about the 5K now, because as you see, 5K TVs are actually popping up from Samsung, the OLEDs, the ones with the curve. So if you guys had any questions for me, or you want to know, or you feel like I missed something, leave a comment in the comment section below. If you made it to the end of this video and watched me struggle through it, I appreciate you. Thank you. It's your boy Jimmybgaming. I'm out of here. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm out. Peace.